We are here. Easy allies. I am Michael Huber. We are with Gabby Montoot. What is up, Gabby?
I'm very pumped.
Pumped, dude. I like your Snoopy
Feeling
jacket.
pumped. Oh shit. Sorry, I'm trying to get chat on my phone.
I was like, yo, I hear that,
Yes.
I hope it's not on my end.
Spoiler mode, final warning, spoiler mode, activated.
I'm pumped. I'm so pumped.
Yes.
Just watched the first episode of The Last of Us
Yes,
TV show.
Moments ago, chat. We, a couple weeks ago, Gabby and I were like, yo, every episode, immediately when it's over.
No, even longer ago, like months ago.
No, months ago.
You were like, oh, I want to do every single episode.
Yeah.
And I, in our meeting like 2 weeks ago, I was like, do you still want to do that? And both of us were like, yeah!
Yes. Because, the Allies like Last of Us, but, right when I started to, really get to know you, because we've been working together, is like, no, you like Last of Us. So I'm like, yo.
Yes.
Yo! So... Yeah. No,
Go on.
So episode one just ended moments ago. I'm still processing.
Me too.
It went into my brain. It's still rattling around in there. First up, I really liked the 1960s flashback. What a cool setup.
That was, and I feel like part of it was Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin telling the audience this is going to be different. You're going to be surprised. You're going to see things, that if you play the game, if you memorize the game, you're going to see things you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And they were fucking right. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So the first 2 minutes of that scene, I was like, this is kind of weird. This is kind of long. I don't know what's going on. And then as it progressed, as it got longer and longer, I liked it more and more.
Yeah. Good context.
Because I didn't know what to expect, at all, for the show.
I was immediately hooked, Gabby, because I recognized those actors. The main, scientist guy from The Mummy.
Really?
He's from The Mummy, and he's also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Dude, Radcliffe, my favorite. So, immediately, only because of, previous bias, I'm like, yo, dude, Radcliffe, what up?
The interviewer is from Silicon Valley, I believe.
I was like, where's he from, dude? I remember, yes.
he has a big head or something.
Big head.
Is his name Big Head?
Yep, that's so funny. Good
He's good. I really liked him in Silicon Valley.
Yeah. So did you feel like this scene, this scene, Gabby, it was right away, like you said, you nailed it. It was yo, this is going to be different. I had those exact same thoughts. And I also really liked how it was it's not only different, but it's giving me additional insight into the world that was not previously in the game. And we're going to go over the episode. The episode has some of that, which I liked.
So that's all information you would have learned right before the game came out, in interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
And that we heard about from, Neil and whoever, right before the game came out.
Yeah.
So to just give everyone that context, in such a cool way, brilliant.
Or it'd be it'd be documents or something you find, talking about it.
Exactly.
Oh, this scientist in the 1960s was on the show. Could have totally seen that as a document you pick up.
Oh, so cool.
So immediately setting the vibes, dude, and then the title card, dude, getting the familiar theme in there. It was so funny because I heard the voiceover narration of the game's intro when it was doing it, the radio broadcast, and I was just filling in the blanks on my own, dude. I was like, oh my god,
yeah. And also just I love Gustavo Santaolalla. What an incredible composer! Get him his paycheck.
Yes.
So glad they kept the music. It's so iconic for the game. Perfect.
Hell yeah. So we pick up immediately with, you knew we would. Sarah plotline.
In the game, Sarah is, she has a personality. She's a little precocious and sassy or whatever, but you don't get that much insight into her. So I loved seeing her be this fully rounded character.
Yeah.
That in some ways you know, if we had just seen the scenes from the game in this episode, I think it would have been like, oh, okay, they fridged his daughter. Like, we're not, you know, you don't get to carry her physically like you do in the game. So you don't have this connection to her like, oh, I'm carrying my own daughter.
Yeah.
So I like that we got so much more of her.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just the family dynamic with Joel and Tommy as well. I feel like it had hinted at that, of course. Like Sarah and Tommy were like right in the game. The first, you know, they're only in a couple scenes together, but you still get that bond. So it was nice to see like more of that. Them kind of like teasing Joel, just that dynamic. I also
Tommy's younger, right?
Yeah.
Tommy's younger brother. Yeah.
Yeah. I also noticed the date was earlier. It was like 2003. Unless I read it wrong, I should have gone back.
It was 2003.
Yeah,
because they wanted this one to take place this year.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they put everything back like 10 years. No, the game's 2013. It starts.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So they shove everything back. Yeah. So that was just a weird date.
Sarah was listening to Tomorrow by Avril Lavigne, which was the first CD I ever bought.
No.
Yeah, Avril Lavigne's first album.
What a detail. That is sick. So
my roommate who I grew up with, who also had that CD, we were like singing along, like, oh my god, like I relate to Sarah immediately.
It's so perfect.
Oh, she was so cute. I loved her.
Totally. And then like, yeah, the whole neighbor dynamic. They like changed that a little bit, obviously added more. Just giving
love,
more.
Like getting an Yeah. And like they obviously have like a relationship with these neighbors, and like, you know, in the game it's just
the Coopers.
Like,
oh man, the Coopers have gone crazy. Shit, I remember.
Right, and you don't meet them ever. It's just like you just assume they have this relationship, but like, to see these people, and then see the grandma.
Yeah.
So
they did such a good job with so little time. Like really, I felt like that whole neighborhood got like fleshed out so quickly. It was great. I was
the cul-de-sac, like but so scary when Sarah's standing, like looking at the DVDs. Viper and whatever.
Viper and Curtis nod. Yes. Good nod. Yes,
iconic. Viper, Curtis and Viper 7. The DVD. But and like in the background, she's like opening her mouth.
Yeah.
So what are we supposed to understand from that?
I think she was like starting to turn, maybe, or it was a misdirect. I thought two things: one, she's starting to turn, or two, it's a misdirect and she's just like older and senile and does like weird things. You know, people sometimes do weird things with their bodies, like whatever.
Yeah.
So.
But then it wasn't a misdirect.
Yeah. Then you come back and then all hell breaks loose.
Speaking of the grandma, amazing stunt work, like. This old woman is like crawling around.
Yeah, how do they even do that shit, dude? Good call.
I know.
Good call. Cool. Wow.
So cool.
Yeah, the like shit coming out of their mouths.
Because they're not doing the spores.
Yeah, they're not doing spores. They're doing tentacles, right? Which they said ahead of time, which was probably a smart thing to say ahead of time, to be like, "Yo, we're doing this weird thing," you know. But it freaked me out. That shit was gross, Gabby. What the hell?
Yeah. I am very sensitive to like mouth and throat trauma. So, like, to think of the mushrooms like blocking their throat and like coming out like that is like makes me want to gag.
Yeah, dude, I had a visceral reaction. I have not felt like that since that episode of Hannibal when the body is covered in mushrooms. I don't know if you've seen Hannibal. It's messed up. Don't watch that one, dude. It's still in my brain. Traumatic. I don't want to think about it now. So then, yeah, dude, you're talking about the movement when she like chases him outside.
Yes, exactly.
Joel like, with a wrench.
Falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tommy like has a gun and he's.
Yeah. Well,
shoot.
I love that moment. Like, Joel, what are we doing here, dude? Because he wanted to shoot. But he was like, dude, this is your neighbor, like...
And you know, one of my roommates has watched me play, and she was like, oh my god, like, what, you know, later she was like, oh, you know, why don't they get on the roof? Like, get on a roof. And I was like, they don't know what's going on. Like, we have the benefit of knowing what the story's about.
Totally.
But, like, it's this dramatic irony of like, yeah, we know these are zombies, but they have no idea. They don't know what the fuck is going on.
Such a chaos. Yes, such a great point. Because if like you were close with your neighbor for like a long time, Sarah's going over to Sarah's going over to take care of them and stuff. Yeah, they attack you. Like, I'm gonna hesitate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, anyone can be like, no, why didn't you shoot? Why didn't you shoot? But like, you wouldn't. You would not do that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then even that other neighbor, dude, I was kind of sad, dude. Joel. The other neighbor, Denise, Denise, get back inside. Like, what the hell, Joel? Get in the truck, Denise.
She's like, oh my god, because she sees the older woman go down.
Yeah.
And then, she's like, the grandma gets them.
Yeah, you see the old man come out.
Yes, and the old woman as well.
Great detail.
So good.
Everything
and it's that fast. Holy shit.
So fast. I love when it's just like boom. Weird, because we've played these games so much. So it's just like a weird sensation to be watching it, So I'm like noticing these weird things, like the shots were like reverse from the game at some parts, like
with the house on the other side.
The house was on the other side. Oh my god! Thank God I'm not a freak for being the only one who thinks that. Thank you, Gabby.
No,
yes.
I was like, whoa, cool. The house is on the other side.
Yeah, I was like, why? When Joel sat down on the couch, it was the other side. I was like, dude, that was just freaking me out.
Also, when they were driving to the city, they take a right instead of a left.
It's hilarious.
Right? Because in the game, don't they take a left?
No, I think they do go right. I feel like they do go right.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
But you've made me doubt now. Because that was cool, seeing all the cops go by and that whole, like, outbreak scene.
And then driving across the field. So
that was a cool detail.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Because, like, that makes more, you're trying to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible in the game, but, like, it was even more panic-inducing to have them, like, not know where to go and, like, okay, we're going to try to cut across here. Yesterday, when I was driving to Burbank, and it was pouring rain, buckets, and someone got in an accident. They were fine, but they got in an accident, like, kind of in front of us, so traffic was stopped dead on the highway. And when I saw this scene, I was like, oh my god, like,
last of us, dude, outbreak day.
What's going on? This is panic-inducing, like, because we didn't know, obviously, until we drove past that there was an accident. So, yeah.
Dude. Outbreak day. Look out. Yeah, it was a good way to set up the government, too. Like, they had all that. There's a good way to set them up instead of, like, then when Joel runs out with Sarah, the moment, there's that, like, guard there.
Oh my god, the plane crashing in the street? Holy shit.
The only thing it took me out of it because I just thought of, like, how high budget it was, honestly. The plane crashing. I was just like, yo, spend the cash.
Yeah.
Spend the cash. Just like, all right, plane crashing into the street, dude. That's when you just have a blank check. That was my vibe.
It was so cool, though.
It was fucking sick. It was so sick.
I love that it's the way Tommy and Joel get separated is different. The way the car gets knocked over is different.
Oh, and that was great, Gabby. Yeah, the way the car got flipped because they totally misdirect you when Joel was like, "Dude, Tommy, look out!" But they like get by the car. I was like, "Oh, what a troll!" That was great.
Yeah,
that was so good.
So good.
Yeah. It's sick.
So what's next? Oh, then Sarah, Sarah dies. It was
like
horrible.
The worst pain. I fucking hate it.
And it's like twice as long as the scene in the game. Pedro Pascal acting his ass off.
I hate it so much.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really tough.
Because, we'll go to it. I said we should bring it up just real quickly before we move on is the very end of the episode as well, Gabby, because this actually hit differently than I'm used to in the game, and it kind of contextualized everything in a different way, like something we already knew, of course. Joel's like fatherly instinct is a huge part of the game. Yeah, but when he saves her at the end, it did a really good parallel. The parallel of like this federal government agent aiming a gun at you and your little girl.
I mean,
So it like brought all those primal instinct on. It was awesome.
Yeah. I do feel like the first game doesn't explore trauma as much as the second game does.
Oh,
you know?
God. Yeah, of course.
So to like get that exploration of Joel's trauma, is great.
Yeah,
like,
we're already seeing that, like there's been one episode it feels like we're seeing more, but I don't know if it's because like we know so much about Joel or if it's like if someone just coming in would think the same thing. I don't know. I have that bias.
You know what?
I have that bias.
Maybe I should get my roommates and my neighbor on the show at some point on this. At some point we can ask them. Because one of them has seen the entire game. One of them I told the plot of the entire game.
Yeah.
And the other one knows nothing. So it's like
the perfect mix.
4 levels. Yeah, exactly. 4 levels of understanding.
Yeah. But it was cool to tie that exact because I had never thought about that. Like obviously, you know, the big moment is when like you know, they have so many moments throughout the game of like Ellie and Joel like saving each other, but that like and that as being the first moment, I never really thought of that hard in the game.
Well, I also feel like in the game you kind of, because you are Joel, you kind of are allowed, you feel it yourself, but you have to see, you know, you have to be able to see the actor. You know, they're not telling you how to feel or whatever. Yeah, they have to show you in a different way. They have to make you feel it in a different way.
Totally. Love that. So then we obviously jump 20 years later, and we're in the Boston QZ. And this is what I was talking about earlier, Gabby, about seeing more that you wouldn't necessarily see in the game. Like, I liked getting to know the guard in this place and just like seeing some people, dude. When they were like dumping bodies, that woman was like, dude, I can't do this. And like
people having jobs and stuff. And like
Joel working the job, dude, working the streets. Like,
and like when he went to get his like cards or whatever, his like, I don't know, meal cards or whatever the fuck they were.
Ration cards,
like, your ration cards. And like trying to figure out what job he's gonna do tomorrow or whatever, and like what shift you get. Like, oh, everybody's being put to work in order to get, like, just learning about the society. And like we kind of learn about, there's also going to be spoilers for Last of Us 2 in here.
Yeah, be careful, be careful.
Learn about like, that's true. We're gonna learn, or rather we learn about like kind of how stuff works in the WLF.
Yeah.
In the second game.
Yeah.
But we don't really learn, because we don't see Joel go to work. We just like, you know, Tess shows up and she's like, hey, we gotta go kill David, and you don't have any of this context.
We know they're like criminals, you know, smugglers working off the grid, but I never thought of like, how does Joel like blend in when he's not like, smuggling? Oh, he probably like
community.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he probably like picks up odd jobs here and there to just like you know, be on the books, keep it chill. So I thought that was like, I thought that was cool, like seeing more people. And then we saw actually way less of Robert. You know, Robert's in the game only for like a minute or two anyway, but this was like, boom. That felt really fast.
Like, Robert looms so large in the game.
He does.
And then in this, when they cut to his dead body, I was like, oh, is that Robert?
Yeah,
like,
same.
I was like, oh, okay, he has like one line or like 2 lines. It's crazy.
So it's funny, like, expecting things that are going to be more fleshed out, but also things might be less fleshed out. And it almost felt like, you know, Robert, they were just like, we don't really need any more Robert here.
I think because, like, the whole Robert of it all in the first game, it's not super important to the plot, but it's how you learn how to play the game.
Yeah,
you know?
the tutorial. He's the tutorial. Like
it's a tutorial level. So like you don't need to learn how to watch the show. So it's like this needs to be important to the plot if we're going to include this. You know.
I like that.
Yeah.
I thought a weird change, but we'll have to see how it goes, was Marlene and Ellie. Like Ellie not knowing even who Marlene was at this point. Like at all, even as like Firefly person, because she knew of her through Riley. You know, Riley was trying to get into Firefly as Firefly.
But also, wasn't Marlene her mom's like best friend?
Yeah, so Marlene knows Ellie more, always has. But I still,
that's why she was like, I put you there. Or whatever.
But I still feel like Ellie would at least be like aware. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like maybe it's just for plot convenience, or like we'll see where that.
I also feel like it's like not knowing who Che Guevara is. Like they literally call her Che Guevara.
Yeah.
And like, wouldn't her face be on a wanted poster around like every corner?
Yeah. Yeah,
she's the
totally.
leader of the
They are in the
Chargers.
game, actually. Yeah, you're right. They are.
Yeah.
You see those wanted posters. So
that's a little confusing.
Yeah.
But...
We'll see if they, like...
Wait a second. Ellie also says, like, oh, I've never been outside the wall, but we know she has.
No.
But she went to the mall.
The mall. That's right. Was it outside of the zone, or was it connected, though, the mall? I always forget.
There were zombies there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess... Well, because what's his name? That, like, guard was there with the tent. So I think I think it was still... Yeah, it's inside the zone. The mall's in the zone still. It's just on the fringes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like outside. Yeah. It's not like outside the, like, walls. Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then they meet that. Like, if you read the comic, too, they have that like, guy that works there. He's, like, one of the federal workers. You see his tent in the game. Like,
right. Okay, I remember this. Yeah.
So. But, so then Tess is, like... freaking, like, almost captured or whatever. Freaking Fedra situation. The, just all the, like, the Firefly Fedra War. I thought they did a good job of, like, showing that, setting that up, like...
Yeah.
Graffiti everywhere. Talking about body counts, dude. Fireflies have lost 4. Like, the other guard was like, yo, we've lost some guys. People are on edge. And then also kind of the struggle of it all. Marlene, like, talking to her right-hand person... of like, yo, it's been 20 years, it's not a rebellion, like, we're not making any progress.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone just fighting to fight is like, gives it that, like, extra hopeless feeling. And
so
putting
the Fireflies have been around since Outbreak Day?
I mean, she's probably, like, a little after, yeah. I don't know if we ever, like, knew exactly when they
it might not be 20 years to the
Yeah. Just general, like, you know, it's been 20 years since this all started. That's just the vibe I got. Yeah. What did you think of just Ellie's character? I really liked her. Just like I was like, yep, just like the count to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, fuck you. And just like the perfect moment too is when, like, Tess puts her in the room and shuts the door and Ellie's just like, hey, fuck you. I was just like, dude, that is so perfectly Ellie right there. Oh my goodness. I
feel like she perfectly captures the, like, I think I'm a cool adult. And, like,
yes!
Cool swear and flip people off and say fuck you, like, and it's endearing. You know?
Yeah.
She's great. She's
Switchblade
so
hype.
Yes.
Switchblade.
Oh, that scene, the face off in the hallway.
Yeah.
Wait, are we jumping around?
Yeah, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Because, I mean, there's really not that much left.
It was just... Yes, there is! So in the game...
Yeah.
What did you think about this? In the game, Tess and Joel, it's unclear what their relationship is.
Yeah.
They obviously have some kind of, like, intimate relationship, whether they're just, like, really close friends or they've hooked up before or whatever, but it seems pretty clear that they're not at the moment hooking up.
Yeah.
But in this, she, like, gets in bed with him. So I'm like, okay, are they
That was
together?
it's just companions, I feel like. Intimate companions that may have hooked up in a drunken night is always my headcanon, you know? A couple times here and there over the years, but, like, no... We're like, we protect each other. Like, they rely on each other. There's, like, a dependence there. Like, Tess is the brains. No offense to Joel. And, like, Joel is the muscle. That's the role they play.
Yeah.
She's the forward face of the smuggling operation, and Joel is the muscle. So I got the exact same vibe of, like, they've hooked up before, but they're totally just companions.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it still was definitely unclear because they didn't kiss or anything.
Totally.
Like,
totally. Yeah. But I don't think they're, like, a couple. Like, I never thought that.
Well, I was thinking, so in the second game, did you hear the thing about how they were going to give Joel a girlfriend in the second game?
No, never heard that.
Yeah. So, you know, in the beginning stages, he had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And, like, thank God he didn't.
Yeah.
Like, thank God they changed that because I am so emotionally attached to Joel.
Yeah.
If he had another woman in his life, I would go insane. I would go insane.
If Ellie liked her, then I'd be stoked, though. That's all. That's what would matter to me.
If Ellie what?
If Ellie liked the woman he was dating, she would need Ellie approval.
Sure, but, like, I'm like, Joel is my dad. Like, Joel's mine.
Yeah.
I don't want any other women near him.
I love that.
Seethe with jealousy.
That's how I feel about Pedro Pascal. What a man. Love that man.
Okay. Oh my god.
Love
So
that
as
man.
soon
I
as
just want to like have some coffee with Pedro Pascal. Dude.
we had to pause it at some point to like get food or something, and as soon as we paused it, my neighbor was like, Pedro Pascal is so funny. And we were all like, oh my god, he's so good looking. It's crazy.
I just love that guy.
At one point, he's just like standing, and you just like see his torso, and I just went, and everyone was like, yep, me too.
That's funny.
Oh.
That's so good. Yeah, what do you think of Joel? We talked a little bit about Ellie. What about Joel in general?
I mean, I would watch Pedro Pascal do anything. Like, it's a different Joel, but it's like, I still feel comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like, you know, who's this stranger?
Yeah. Getting the vibes from me, for sure. He's got the vibes. Just the vibe of, like, heart of gold, deep in there. Like, deep down, but, like, covered in pain and darkness and violence.
Just a grizzled.
Yes. Just like, dude,
he's
it's...
almost 60?
Yeah, he's old as shit.
Almost 60.
He's old as
but
shit.
Is he
I forget
almost
his
60
guys.
in the game?
Yeah, he's like 40 plus, 50s. Yeah, hell yeah.
I guess you're right.
Old man Joel,
I mean,
dude.
That's okay with me.
Yeah.
He's, yeah.
Yeah. Another small change. I thought it was just for convenience, you know, get the plot going. Instead of guns they're after, it's a battery.
And the whole thing where Joel was going to leave anyway.
Yeah, that was... Or Tess, too. Tess was, like, all in from the get-go.
To join Joel, right?
To join Joel to look for Tommy. That was the biggest change to me. That was big.
And the going to the radio guy, I loved that. That guy was so funny.
Oh my god, radio man. Oh, perfect, Gabby. Yes. The perfect example of, like, adding more to this world that is not in the game, and it only adds to the universe. I love that shit. Yes.
Oh, so good. And the fact that he, like, gives the guy, like, we see him get the cigarettes from the soldier.
Yeah.
And oh my god, the trading oxys, that was scary, but he like gives the soldiers the oxycodone and the or oxycontin and the like cards or whatever. What does he give? Or he gets cards.
Ration cards.
But he gets ration cards, right?
Joel does, yeah, for the oxy.
Yeah.
He gets the ration cards and he gets the cigs.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, does Joel smoke? Like, that's weird. But then he uses them to pay the radio guy.
Yeah, so perfect.
So good. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
That is such a cool detail, dude. Those little lore details, dude. Yes. Yeah. That was one of my favorite parts of, like, the whole episode. Yeah. I'm not even kidding. It sounds really weird, but I just loved from when Joel was dealing with that guy to the radio man. All that was so sick.
The minutia. You know, the minutia of what it is to live in this, you know, this place.
Totally. Lean into those types of moments in a TV show. Like, in a game, obviously, you gotta, like, craft shit, snap some necks, get to the next thing. Start blasting, you know? You only have so much time for cutscenes, and it's like, TV show, dude. Let us get into that.
That's why I think so often, like, video games don't translate to movies and TV because, you know, you spend so much time, like, punching and kicking. Like, we don't want really to see constant punching and kicking.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're turning down the punching and kicking and shooting, and they're turning up the minutia, the things we don't get from the game.
Totally.
Yeah.
I will say... I don't think anyone and I don't demand it, but, you know, I like to say I'm at the highest threshold for gore tolerance. And I will say that The Last of Us game is easily one of the most graphic video games possible because
the body
it's so
horror of it.
So gritty, so realistic.
Yeah.
And I will say by the end of the episode, I was like, yo, I'm ready for, like, a graphic death. And it never really came except, you know, Joel, but it was still, like, away. So I feel like...
I don't know.
Maybe they're saving it to, like, lean into later, but I was like, I was expecting maybe a little more gore. Maybe that's just me.
Well, think about Chernobyl. Like, wasn't it so much scarier to see, like, the soldiers when they were, like, in quarantine in in Chernobyl, like you know, their skin is like melting off
that
or whatever. Like
slow burn body horror, of course.
Yeah, and then it's so much scarier.
Yeah.
Like if we see someone get their head chopped off or whatever, like in the first episode, you know,
Yeah.
by episode 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever,
right,
we're going to be
right.
like, okay, yeah, we've seen a million people get their heads cut off.
We'll wait to see where it goes. Yeah, let it build. So then when we do have Bill blow a clicker's head off, we feel it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we did get that cool the like clicker in the wall.
That was loved that effect.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That was so good.
This set. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think about all the like production details?
One of the sets I was like, this is really set looking, derogatory, but otherwise I thought it looked pretty good. It looked like gritty and real and yeah.
Yeah, even when the little kid was rolling up to the QZ, that shot of the QZ
we didn't even talk about it!
Over the wall, and just like you could see like the green sticking out. I was like, dude, that is exactly from the game. That's so cool. Yeah, that girl rolling up. I just loved seeing that quarantine zone, like those people, you know, because they are in the game. They're the villains in a way, you know. They're not maybe not they're an antagonist. They're an antagonist. We don't really meet them, you know, that we have to like choke them out, avoid them. They're trying to kill us. So it was nice to maybe get like the human element there. Just like
and also
putting
just
a face
from a writing,
to them.
Yeah. From a writing perspective, like having that part where they show you the like red light,
the payoff there,
thing, and then you don't see him die, but you do see them dump his body. And you know, minutes earlier you saw, you know, we heard something about like how quick it infects you or something like that, or you know, we saw a sign. The sign, like,
5 to 15. You know, I paused it. I went back. I paused. 5 to 15 minutes for like a head or neck wound. It was like 2 to 8 hours for like leg and torso, and then like 12 to 24 hours for like ankle and foot. I think was the last one. I think.
Yeah.
It's like nice. Love those details. You build that world.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Lore.
Yes. Anything else before we get to like the end?
Just the call to action, where Marlene decides in the moment, instead of it being pre-planned, like she knows Joel she knows Joel and Tess are good smugglers, so she calls them in order to smuggle Ellie. It's like, oh, we're meeting up. We know each other somehow, but you know,
their cross, I'm sure, have passed
in the moment. Yeah. Like, you know, in the moment, she's like, okay, you're gonna do it. I also loved how like
Queen
direct
Firefly.
And decisive Marlene was.
Yeah, I always loved when Joel says Queen Firefly in the first game. It was like one of my favorite Joel quotes.
Yeah. Bad bitch alert.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I just said bad bitch alert.
Oh, okay. Before that, though, just Marlene and all that.
Oh yeah, just Marlene. Yeah. She's great.
Yeah.
She was funny too.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like,
you know what's cool is the episode, there's a teaser for like in the weeks to come, which I always skip no matter what because it's like shows all the good shit.
Didn't watch it.
Skip that, didn't watch it. But there was an inside the episode, and Marlene originally tried out for the video game as Marlene.
No, she is the voice actress.
She said she tried out for it. Oh, it actually is her? When she was saying
I believe
it.
So.
Oh, okay, when she was saying it, it was like she didn't get the job for the game.
I think that is her.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it is her. Yeah, that is her. Okay, when she was saying it, she was like, first, because dude, watch it. It's confusing. Because when she's like, I tried out for the game. She didn't really say like I was in the game, unless I just misheard. But yeah, it is her. Cool. That is so cool. Love that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
What, like, perfect character to carry over because of when she pops up in the game. I'll just leave it at that. You know, it's not like if you hired Troy Baker and it's just like the entire thing. It'd be like pretty weird.
Right.
So, I think that is cool. Yeah.
And she looks like her, like Troy doesn't look like Joel, you know, but she looks like Marlene. Yeah.
Anything you wanted but didn't get, or anything you didn't know you wanted and got?
I feel like they didn't put as much emphasis on finding out that she is infected.
Oh, next one. It's got to be next one. Because it was too fast. It ended right then. It was like, boom. They didn't even have time to, like, say it. That'll pick up the next one. They'll have next episode picks up with Joel, like, yo, what the fuck? Like that. The first thing. Yeah.
Should we, like, ask chat if they have any?
Yeah, chat, any thoughts? Any thoughts, chat?
I have them on my phone.
Yeah, I see chat. Yeah, I wonder if there'll be any, like, flashback stuff, or... Because, I mean...
No, there will.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Sorry.
Yeah, shit. No, that's fine. Hey, if they've announced it ahead of time, that's cool.
Well, remember in the trailer, there's, like, a scene where you see two people sitting at, like, a fancy restaurant.
Got it.
You don't see who they are, but it's, like, obvious.
Well, I just assumed... I wouldn't assume... the whole episode's a flashback, because I feel like
no.
Yeah, okay. So because the 1968 scene or whatever in this episode like set the tone for, like, oh, okay, we can get some more. We'll hop around the dates.
Yeah, and like we know, Frank is a character. Like, Frank is an actor.
Yeah.
So we know he's in it somewhere. Yeah.
Hell yeah. T-Spawn 2003 Fall of Society was so good. Shades of Shaun of the Dead. Love that.
Yeah, that was cool. Ugh. Wait, I didn't think the clicker on the wall was great looking. I didn't even realize what it was until they finally focused on it.
Oh,
really?
Dang, I love that detail. That was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
I loved how that looked. Dark Knight, Resident Evil 2 nod. Tommy and Joel there. Loved it. I was thinking Resident Evil all the way as well. Totally. Measly Parch. We got new Tommy lore, the bumper sticker. Yes, that was another one. Yeah, Desert Storm. That was new. We did not.
Oh my god, all the 2003 references were such like jump scares, like the photo of George Bush.
He's like, whoa. Like,
reference. Whoa. Oh, one last thing. The Bill and Frank code. I loved that scene. When Ellie cracked the code. That was brilliant.
That was brilliant.
And then we end with Depeche Mode. Like, ugh.
That was super good. Again, just like, I have so much hope because it's like so efficient. The like things they could cut, or like the conveniences they made. Sometimes in an adaptation, you're like, why would they change that? Why would they do that? What are you doing? Yeah. That, like, changes for just no reason. Like, oh, we just changed that. And it's like, okay, they're looking for the battery and shit. Like, that makes sense. I guess a big change is Tess a little bit, but, like, that even isn't that big to me because of how close we always knew they were, regardless of whether you think they're romantic or not. They have that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, really. It doesn't really affect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and, like, giving, like, Tommy that backstory of, like, oh, okay, make him, like, more, maybe he was in the army, Desert Storm. Soldier.
That's why he has that big gun. That's why he's such a good sniper.
Yeah. Giving it context.
Yeah.
Just Joel, like, looking for him is pretty big. And that's the kind of thing, because always the biggest change with movies and shows when you're adapting a book or like a video game, whatever, is like you have way less time. Like, this is a show and it's a long ass show. It's actually like 9 hours, we learned, right? Which is like crazy long, but that's still way shorter than a game. And like you're gonna have to make some cuts and some changes to like drive the urgency, drive the narrative, like push it forward a little quicker. So things like that, like we're looking for Tommy, just kind of like gets him going, which is fine.
So, I mean, people are saying in chat like they're not on speaking terms in the game. Like, they are straight up mad at each other. We don't really know why. We kind of never find out really. But in this, it's like, why isn't Tommy responding? Like, are they not on speaking terms? Is Tommy mad at Joel? Is that why he's not responding? Or like,
Definitely Firefly related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we knew that, didn't we?
Yeah.
He references it when he's talking to Marlene or whatever.
I believe the last thing you said to me, I don't ever want to see your fucking face again.
I love Tommy.
Yeah. I think that's what he's so good. Gabriel Luna hype, dude. Ghost Rider. We had 2 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. people in this episode. Double call out. Love Gabriel Luna, dude. One of my favorites. Fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ghost Rider, and Terminator. He's so sick in. Love Gabriel Luna. So hyped for Tommy.
Think they also captured the like little brother energy of Tommy, like, you know, in the game when they're in the car and Joel's like trying to keep things from Sarah, like to not scare her, and Tommy's like, apparently like infects you really quick and then you become completely crazy, and he's just like dumping on her this like insanely scary information. And I feel like they capture that well. Like he comes in and he's immediately roasting Joel.
Totally.
And like he's like in on the fun roasting Joel with Joel's own child.
Yeah, I love them together. Yeah, Tommy in that scene too when Sarah goes down was brutal. Dark Knight was saying they made Tess like a little less of a crime boss, it felt like. Did you get that vibe at all? Did you get that vibe? I
don't know. I thought she was kind of more of a badass. She said like, "Oh, he works for me" when she was being tortured.
Yeah.
Or questioned or whatever.
Yeah. I think it was like saving a lot for the next one. Especially with her, dude. I think she's gonna like blow some clickers away, dude. I'm ready. But
can't wait.
We'll see. Hopes for the next one, dude. Hopes for the next one. I'm ready for some infected action. That's what I want next one. Yeah. It's all I want. There was very little infected in this one because it's just the first one. That's cool. Save it up. I want the fucking haunted building, dude. I am ready for the building. Give me like dude, if the entire next episode was just like 40-minute haunted building set piece, let's go.
No, that'd be so bad.
I'm ready. I want it.
So boring. Watching someone else.
I'm so ready.
Silence, creeping around. No.
A bottle needs to be thrown. Yes, Dark Knight. Someone needs to throw a bottle.
Sure will.
It's a nod. All right. I think that unless you have anything else, I think we covered some changes, some additions, covered all the major plot beats. Nothing really left on the table.
Yeah, I don't think Chad is. Yeah, no.
When it was over, though, I was ready to watch 8 more episodes immediately.
Oh my god, I know. I was so roommate, bummed. She was like, "There's only one."
I know. I know. Come on, it's 2023, dude. Have that double premiere, dude. Drop 2 on us. Like, drop 3.
80 minutes long.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, it felt full, dude. It felt complete. Loved it.
And it raced by.
I will say on a closing note, I love rewatching movies and shows and replaying video games. But it is a weird sensation to be watching something for the first time and knowing most of the outcome. So it does kind of release the tension a bit. So it did make it a little less tense. Like, Chernobyl is like, you know of the event, but like, you know, that was so gritty and gnarly because it's like, yo, I didn't know exactly like the exact time and everything. But like I've replayed.
It's so different.
It is different, but like I know what's gonna happen to Joel. I know what's gonna happen to Tess. I know what's gonna happen to Ellie. So there is a little bit of that tension release on the first viewing. But I feel like.
But I don't know. I love dramatic irony. Like that's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Like literary tools.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The dramatic irony to me makes me feel like more dread.
Yeah.
You know.
For the Sarah part, of course, that I was like.
Yeah.
That I was dreading the whole time because it's so heavy. It's so gnarly.
It was like 3 times longer than the.
So much longer. It's so brutal. But like, I wonder if they can maintain that tension. The only reason I bring it up is because at the very end. You know, when Ellie stabs the guard, like, you know, he's gonna get stabbed, and, like, they'll get that guy, like, everything's fine. Yeah. So I wonder, you know, going into the next one with, clickers and stalkers and what have you, if they'll be able to capture that like horror tension if you kind of already know what to expect. And of course they could make more changes, but I feel like the core cast's fate will not be changed.
Oh, no, I don't think so. Like, I don't think Tess is surviving.
Yeah. So,
we're definitely seeing Bill next week. That's my guess. Oh, we're not definitely.
Next? Oh, no, I think that's like 3 years. So, yeah. Bill's town,
I don't think so.
I think 3 at least. Maybe next one. That'd be crazy, dude. I mean, yeah, there's only 9, so shit does pop. Like, they're already out of the town, the quarantine zone. I was thinking 3 or something.
Like, next week, I mean, what happens next? They go to the state house.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of test shit, a lot of, like, after-test shit, then Bill. There's, like, I think, dude, zero. I'll bet you right now there is no chance, unless in the last second of the episode, Bill will not be in episode 2. I'll bet my life on it.
I think we are fully getting to Bill in episode 2.
Sick.
What else is there besides traveling?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Is like using that time to like flesh out the characters.
Sure, but like it's probably another 80 minutes.
Yeah. Dude, there's still a lot of ground to cover, bro. There's so much to cover. Are you serious? The whole building, dude. The whole fucking like courthouse. The whole like Bill or just Joel and Ellie together. Them traveling.
Okay, but that's like a few scenes.
All right.
This is an 80-page script.
I love this because this actually it sounds like we're nitpicking, but this actually ties into what the pace of the show is going to be like. We're going to find out. One of us is more tapped in than the other. Gabby, we will see. We will see who's more tapped in to the pace, to the pacing of this. All about it. All right, we are easy allies. Spread the love and respect everywhere. Share this video, share this.
And it'll be up on YouTube, I think, tomorrow.
Yes. And,
I'll put it up.
and tell people about us. Spread the word. We got Goaties coming up. We're going to be doing this every week after the episodes. We're just getting started, and we started strong. Gabby, we started strong.
Great pilot. That's the other thing.
Pilot.
I was a television major in college, so that's my background. And a good pilot. There's nothing like a good pilot,
dude.
And this is a good pilot.
I agree. I love good pilots, dude. Yo, Roswell, good pilot episode.
Never seen it.
Good.
Lost, best pilot of all time.
Lost pilot, dude. One of the best. One of the absolute. Yeah, I think you're right. I think was it a two-parter? Was it a two-parter or just? Oh my god, yeah,
two-parter.
Dude. Oh my god, yes.
And pilot has a dual meaning.
Yeah. Fuck, I hate to go. I could just talk forever, Gabby.
I know.
Because I was thinking about, and then I'm worried we're rambling. But then I'm like, oh, like, do they want to hear us like compare this shit to The Walking Dead? Speaking of pilots, because I was thinking of The Walking Dead's pilot in 2010, and here we are now.
Yeah.
Think about when Walking Dead started to where we are now with zombies, and it's like just really, really fascinating to like see that, because like that's the last big budget zombie property that like had a big show, and like Walking Dead's still kind of going, but like it was interesting because I love the Walking Dead pilot as well, so they're different for sure, but they have a lot of similarities. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even think of that. I have seen the Walking Dead pilot.
You have?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's so good.
And also read the
comic.
Several of the graphic novels. Yeah.
Sick. Yeah.
Wow.
But I was just thinking of that. It's a whole nother comparison of just like the way they set up the worlds, but they're both like, the reason I love them, Last of Us and Walking Dead so much is because they're human stories. They focus on the humans and the people, dude, and the freaking zombies and the clickers and the bloaters and all that shit are in the background.
Right. Well, the zombies and the clickers and the bloaters are, like any good horror movie and horror story, like, are fundamentally a tool that allows us to explore our own humanity.
Yes.
And but they're so, they like either show and the graphic novel and the game, like I feel like they explore humanity in such different ways.
Totally. 100%. I mean, because, like, Walking Dead is more like groups, right? And then, of course, Last of Us is like, yo, here's, like, Joel and Ellie. Obviously for that first one, but... So, it's just, yeah.
Also interesting, I don't know if this is a thing, but I just thought of this. Like, if you think about titles, like, Walking Dead is a reference to the zombies, but Last of Us is a reference to, like, the humans, the non-zombies. Yeah. But I guess maybe Walking Dead could also be a reference. I don't know.
Yeah. I like that. No, I love that. I love that. Yeah. Love that. Because, like, because your roommates, when you told, like, your roommate who knows nothing about it, were they like, oh, it's
my neighbor, yeah.
Were they like, oh, it's a zombie show? I feel like if you say it's a zombie show now, it's kind of met with, like, hesitation. Like, oh, zombies? Like,
yeah. I mean, they
been there, done that.
She knows that it's she knew it was, like, about zombies, or like zombies were involved.
Yeah.
But nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
And she also loves post-apocalyptic stuff, so, like, she wasn't worried about it being
nice. Because I'm always down. Every story's been told numerous times. It's about how you tell
There's, like, 5 stories. Yeah,
exactly. It's about how you tell it, who's telling it, all that shit. Yeah. Love it. All right.
Are we actually done?
Are we actually done? Are we actually done now? I think we might be. We talked about the tendrils coming out of the mouth. We absolutely did. It disgusted me. It absolutely disgusted me. I am not disgusted easily. I will stare at your gore on pause. That shit gave me the shivers.
Yeah, maybe gag.
Yeah.
Maybe gag. Any like, if I think about anything...
I don't like it. All right. Will each episode be a new location? I love that. That's what I was thinking of when the whole next episode is in the building and the surrounding area right there. Boom. And the next would be like Bills, and the next would be like fucking just like traveling in the woods, or like, who knows? We'll see. We're going to know a lot more next week.
I don't think so.
Walking Dead tonight. Load up the episode. Dude, I'm gonna watch more Walking Dead just because I need more Last of Us right now. If I wasn't taking care of my grandpa tonight, chat, I'm looking after him till Saturday, I would literally boot up the game. I'm sorry to tease you like that.
Till next Saturday?
Till next Saturday. I'm watching him for a week.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like straight up. I would play right now, but alas.
I know. I wanted to keep my neighbor here, and I was like, after this is over, we have to play Last of Us so I can show you how it's different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Until next week, we are only getting started there. Think about the game. There are so many incredible arcs, dude. That game is like in arcs, character arcs. So many to come. Get hyped. We're Easy Allies. Spread the love and respect around. Thank you, Gabby, for this conversation. And we'll be back next week. Love and respect.
Spoiler mode, final warning, spoiler mode activated.